can hear her knocking, but she can't come in, 'cause she's that sick little girl. She's that sick little girl. Sick little girl. Sick little girl. Sick little girl.
Yes, I do know you can force me to stay. I have been sectioned before. Yes, I do know that means I can be detained under the Mental Health Act. It's not you offering to surgically deliver a baby for me. But can I ask you to stop acting like a psychiatrist for just one moment? What do I mean? I mean, could you spend one moment just listening to what I have to say? And then what? And then, if you still think I'm irrational enough to be sectioned, go ahead. Go back to being a psychiatrist. Stop listening, stop trying to understand, and carry on with your general lack of communication. A moment. Well, it's like this. Sometimes I dream of being able to eat again. Oh, I do eat now, of course, although I didn't for a while. Not at all for a while, and then gradually, little by little, I began to eat again. A little, just a little. So I do eat now, although not in the ordinary way of how eating is supposed to be. Does that make sense? Sometimes it all makes sense to me. Most of the time, it does not. Turmoil. If you ask me, the first word that comes in my head when food is mentioned, I'll come up with turmoil every time. I can feel the panic rising in the pit of my stomach where the food should end up, rushing and rushing through my body into my throat until the bile hits my mouth and makes me retch. What I would like, what I dream of is, I'm sitting at this table, anywhere, on my own or with other people, it doesn't matter, and somebody brings me a plate of food. Any food, it doesn't matter, that's the point of it. It could be anything, I'm not bothered, I'm just looking forward to my meal. Not craving it or anything, like I do now sometimes. Quite often, actually. But just looking forward to it in an ordinary, normal way. And the food gets put on the table, and I eat it and enjoy it, but without thinking about it all that much, because it's just food, just a meal, just a part of ordinary, normal life. And I might be thinking of other ordinary, normal things while I'm eating, like wondering what's on the telly tonight, or shall I read the next chapter in the novel I was given for my birthday? Do you get what I mean? Anyway, the next thing is, the meal's finished, and I've eaten it and enjoyed it without thinking about it or even noticing it all that much. And I feel okay. I don't even have to think to myself, oh, I've just eaten that meal and I feel okay. I just do feel okay without even having to say it to myself. And then I get it from the table, and I'm not bothered that other people will see my empty plate and know that I've just eaten a whole meal. It just isn't important. And then I walk away. Just like that. I walk away and go off and do something normal and ordinary. Like not feeling guilty and disgusted and a failure. And like not running all the way home as fast as I can so I can be sick. That's what I dream about sometimes. No, I don't want a biscuit. Thank you for listening, Doctor.
Sick of life, a life of sick, she looked once again into the vomit-spattered lavatory bowl.
Royal Dalton,
she read. The retching began again, bringing up unchewed, undigested statements of her wretchedness. Anorexia, the initial introductory offer to a disordered eating. Eventually, the choice of getting better
And so bigger.
or progressing on to bulimia had to be made,
Well, she had to be thin.
didn't she? So vomiting became the order of the day.
The day, several times a day to be accurate.
Oh, to be better.
Oh, to be better and thin.
Intelligent, tick. Educated, tick. Fulfilled, tick.
Tick, tick.
Why, when and how had this crushingly destructive illness managed to beset her life and do so much damage to her life?
She was nearly all grown up before it began.
She was now nearly all grown old, and it was still with her.
Please leave me alone.
I can't. If I do, you'll get fat.
I don't care.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
So trust me.
And she became trapped once again.
Don't eat. Okay, eat, but if you do, then eat and eat and eat and eat until you throw up. Oh, the relief. Oh, the pleasure. Oh, the release of the purge. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. Oh, hello, Evie. Thought I'd ring. If I'd waited for you to ring me, I'd be cold and in my grave before I heard from you. Do you know anything for your birthday? Anything nice?
Going out, I think. I've been meaning to
Out?
come.
Out where? Who with?
With my friend's mother.
Friends? Well, that's good. Going out with your friends. Does this mean you're trying to be a bit more normal?
Normal, mother? What do you mean?
Doing things other girls your age do. Socialising. Are you considering getting drunk?
Drunk? Is she joking? Does she have any idea how many calories there are in a glass of alcohol? And worse, the loss of my real friends, determination and willpower. No, mother, don't worry.
Oh. Well, never mind. Get your friends to take you out for a nice meal somewhere.
Yes, mother.
Well, have a nice birthday.
Yes, mother.
And bring me in the week.
Yes, mother.
And make sure you eat properly.
Yes, mother.
I don't know, Evie. I don't hear from you for weeks. And then when you do finally call...
Mother, you called me.
I can't get you to get off the phone.
Sorry, mother. Bye, then.
Goodbye, Evie.
From the old man cinema who felt a tiny, slim, 6-year-old leg.
Oh, the relief. Oh, the pleasure. Oh, the release of the purge. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing.
From the man who was barely more than a boy, who breathed spicy breath over her adolescent ignorance. Sitting on a bus at 17, on her journey to the unknown, sarcastically thanked for what she would not offer in return for a fizzy drink and a bar of chocolate.
Oh, the relief. Oh, the pleasure. Oh, the release of the purge. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing.
From the trusted priest who gave her extra lessons that helped her with her difficulties understanding logic. She'd come to realise that she was the most logical of all people. Her vomiting episodes cleansed her, purged her. Her anorexia made statements of her unwillingness to accept the unacceptable. Only recently had a further attack been made.
Her breasts, non-existent though they were, groped in despair, by a voyeur desperate
to grab himself a moment.
No!
Where will it end? Perhaps when I'm nothing. 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 Where will it end?
So she lost more weight to compensate for the fact that what this latest abuser, a trustee colleague, had cost her. There could be no forgiveness, but the ability to ever trust again is a high price to pay indeed to be freed from the grip of a groping chancer.
Where will it end?
She asked nobody in particular.
Where will it end?
Perhaps when I am nothing.
She told nobody in particular.
But what would
Perhaps when I am
mother
nothing.
say about that?
If your mother could see you now,
If my mother could see me now.
Well, what would she see? What would she think? On the telephone, many miles away, in person.
To my face.
Eat up!
She says.
Too thin!
She says.
I worry.
She says.
Nearly all grown up now, I say.
I still worry.
She says.
I have worried since you were born.
She says.
You don't eat enough. You don't eat properly.
And she knows
And
now.
of course, she is right.
And she knows now just how right. Just recently.
Just how right she is.
But not quite.
Just how right.
As I collect,
Amass.
Dispatch.
Quantities of food.
I think.
She thinks.
She thinks.
Desperately, I think.
What do you think, Evie?
What do you think, Evie?
What do you think, Evie?
If my mother
Yes.
could but see me now,
Yes.
whatever would she think?
Is there no escape?
No escape.
Perhaps she could leave, go far from here, away from her mother.
Escape? Leave? How far? Go where? Would it help?
Perhaps she could catch a plane.
What?
If only you could catch a plane from yourself.
I don't understand.
Perhaps then she would feel okay.
Perhaps then the guilt would disappear.
Guilt? About what?
Everything.
Eating.
Yes.
Not eating.
Yes.
Is that why you put yourself through the fear of being found out?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Such fear, poor dear.
After all, how does anyone looking like her have the nerve to go on a shopping spree?
Where will it end?
Where will it end?
Perhaps when I am nothing.
Perhaps when she is
nothing.
nothing.
When the flesh has fallen from her bones, made her unattainable,
Unattainable.
unavailable,
Unavailable.
unattractive,
Unattractive.
unwanted
Unwanted.
for material pleasures.
Sometimes the urge, the desire became too much, too overwhelming.
It would start sensibly.
Salad.
Fruit.
Low-fat snacks.
The build-up would be gradual, orderly, planned.
Cereal.
Bread.
Cheese,
Crisps.
Biscuits.
cakes,
Chocolate.
Pastry.
sugars,
Fat.
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 Consume.
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 Feel better, high, ecstatic.
Drink water, puff, anything to have.
Fizz.
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 Until she herself became consumed by her own consumption.
Consume, 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 consume.
And in the way that most people make their way upstairs to the end of the day, to clean their teeth, wash their face, have a shower perhaps, before changing into nightclothes, she would instead remove her clothing,
Shame to splatter it.
tie back her hair, and be violently, utterly, completely sick. Yes, she would and could vomit up all the food. Every last scrap that had been swallowed could be forced to reappear, be disposed of, disappear.
But try as she might, she was unable to vomit up the real poison within her wretched soul.
So yes, she stayed thin.
But she felt fat.
Her legs looked fleshy. Her stomach looked, well, it looked like a stomach. How unbearable. Her arms were covered in skin. She was in realities other than her own, a skeleton. But she could not tolerate her physical body unless it told the same story, her story. And when she looked in the mirror, others' accounts of her appearance never tallied with her own. What was she to do?
What I desire, thinness without any chains, no conditions attached.
Not possible, I'm afraid. Why so thin?
I don't know. Or at least, I'm not sure.
Abuse, tick. Insecurity, tick. Poor sense of self, tick, tick.
Tick.
But where did that lead her onto a distorted body image and her dysfunctional eating patterns? Staring down the toilet bowl, she wondered how she'd had time to think so many thoughts in between vomiting spats. As she emptied her stomach and stroked her sore, coarsened throat, she made a mental note to find and telephone a number in the morning. A number which might provide someone on the other end who might help her. Convincing herself that this time, tomorrow, she really would do so, she crawled empty into bed, knowing in reality that she would not.
I ask myself, quite often now, not when will my anger end and disappear, but where will my anger end and disappear? Only with the disappearance of myself, quite often now. I fear.
If your mother could see you now, well, what would she see? What would she think? On the telephone, many miles away, in person, to your face. Eat up!
She says.
Too thin.
She says.
I worry.
She says.
Nearly all grown up now.
You say.
I still worry. I have worried since you were born. You don't eat enough. You don't eat properly.
Of course she is right, and she knows now.
Just recently.
How right she is.
But not quite.
Just how right.
As you collect,
En masse.
dispatch.
Quantities of food. You think.
You think.
Desperately she thinks to herself.
Well, what do you think, Evie?
What do you think, Evie?
What
do you think, Evie?
If my mother
Yes.
could but see me now,
Yes.
whatever would she think?
Is there no escape?
No escape.
Perhaps she could leave, go far away from here, from her mother.
Escape? Leave? How far? Go where? Would it help?
Perhaps she could catch a plane.
What?
If only you could catch a plane from yourself.
I don't understand.
Then she would feel okay.
Then the guilt would disappear.
Guilt about what?
Everything.
Eating.
Yes.
Not eating.
Yes.
Is that why you put yourself through the fear of being found out?
Such fear, poor dear.
After all, how does anyone looking like her have the nerve to go on a shopping spree?
Where will it end?
Where will it end?
Perhaps when I am nothing.
Perhaps when she is nothing.
Such fear.
Poor dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Perhaps when she is nothing.
Such fear.
Such poor dear.